Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar Open University.
Hello and welcome. I am Professor Nilesh K. Modi, Professor and Director, School of Computer Science at Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar Open University, Ahmedabad, Gujarat, India. So in this first session, we will begin our journey into the world of cloud infrastructure and services, starting with unit number 1, Introduction to Cloud Computing. So the agenda of this session is, so let's take a quick look at what we will cover in this unit. We will explore the essential characteristics of cloud computing, the foundational technologies that make cloud possible, understand virtualization and service-oriented computing, and by the end, you will have a strong understanding of cloud fundamental. Now, what exactly you will have by the end of this session? You will understand what cloud computing is and its core characteristics, will be able to differentiate between application-oriented and service-oriented architectures. We will explain related configurations like grid, cluster and distributed systems. And finally, we will describe the role of virtualization and service-oriented architecture in the cloud environment. So what exactly is cloud computing is? So according to International Standard Organization, cloud computing is a paradigm for enabling network access to a scalable and elastic pool of shareable physical or virtual resources with self-service provisioning and on-demand administration. So in the simpler term, it means on-demand delivery of IT resources over the internet using a pay-as-you-go model. So friends, it is just nothing but whenever we are using, we want various network infrastructure, we want various servers, we want various database related servers. So let's describe what exactly the cloud computing is. So cloud computing, it is a new way of enabling network access to a scalable and elastic pool of shareable physical or virtual resources with self-service provisioning and administration and on demand. So let's say we need various server resources, we need various computing resources, we need various storage resources. So cloud computing provides us all these resources on a network environment. So now let's discuss what exactly we are doing. So you only pay for what you use, just like electricity or water. So friends, here we don't have to pay or we don't have to purchase the entire computing resources in our organization. We can hire on pay-as-you-go basis, just like we are using electricity and water at our home. So as per National Institute of Standards and Technology, it is a model that provides ubiquitous and convenient network access to a shared pool of configurable computing resources with minimal management efforts. So basically what exactly we need to do is, we need to just hire the services, we need to just keep what exactly we are in need, and we can start using those services, and the network infrastructure management or computing infrastructure management or storage infrastructure management, that would not be the headache of the organization, that would be the headache of the service providers. So now let's discuss what exactly the key benefits. So what makes cloud computing so valuable? So friends, it offers scalability and flexibility. So friends, we can scalable our resources whatever way we want. So it is a flexible, and let's say presently we are using 2 core computing facility and we need more core computing facility, or we need more RAM or more storage, so that can be scalable whenever you want. So it is totally flexible. The second point is reduced infrastructure cost. So friends, we are not hiring or we are not purchasing any kind of infrastructure, we are just taking the services from a shareable resources from the service providers. So here we just have to hire the services whenever we require, and whenever if we have completed our work, so we can discontinue the services. So we need not to pay hiring or entire infrastructure purchase for our organization. So the next point is access from anywhere, anytime, and at any particular devices. So in our dedicated infrastructure, the main problem is that we need to utilize the resources from our organization only. We cannot use those resources from different location. So with the use of cloud computing, we can access all these resources anytime, anywhere, and from any particular devices. So we have a full flexibility of using all these things. So the next thing is the ability to focus on your core business rather than managing the complex IT infrastructure. So for other than IT organization, those who are doing business, they can directly hire this kind of services. So they can focus on their core business. They need not to focus on complex IT infrastructure as well as various other mechanism or various other related services like internet or like the server goes down or any other thing. So they can focus on what exactly they want or their own core business. So now let's discuss what exactly and how exactly this cloud computing works. So now let's discuss cloud computing architecture. So let's understand how cloud computing is structured. At the bottom, we have virtualization layer. This abstracts physical hardware into virtual resources. The next is orchestrion layer, which manages, automates, provisioning and scaling. Then we have the network infrastructure to ensure the communication between resources. And the next one is we have a storage services that provide scalable and reliable data storage. And finally, security and compliance that ensures the system is protected from threats and meets regulations. So now let's discuss the entire cloud computing architecture. So friends, here you can see we have a virtualization layer. So with the use of virtualization layer, we can abstract or we can use physical hardware into virtual resource manner, enabling efficient resource utilization and scalability. So friends, we have a high-end server that kept or that has been installed or deployed at a specific location, and we want to utilize it into our resources, it into our own organizational infrastructure, so that we can utilize with the use of virtual resources. So that is what we can say it is a virtualization layer. The next one is orchestration layer, so that manages and automates the provisioning and deployment and scaling of cloud resources based on demand. So basically at an initial stage we need only one core, and now after some time we need some sort of more computation. So with this particular layer, this flexibility and scalability can be managed. The next one is network infrastructure. So friends, in the network infrastructure, so whenever it comes to the computing resources, all these computing resources should have a communication between each other. So this network infrastructure layer will establish a communication between all this infrastructure and between all these resources, and that will provide seamless connectivity and data transfer between various resources. Obviously, whenever it comes to computing, whenever it comes to data, we need to store our data at a safe and secure manner. So storage services provide a scalable and resilient storage solutions for data resistance and retrieval. And finally, whenever it comes to virtual IT infrastructure, people will definitely ask about the security and compliances. So how exactly the security and compliances can be managed? So this particular layer implements the measures to protect data, applications and infrastructure from cyber threats and ensure regulatory compliance. So for this particular layer, basically concentrate on the data and its security whenever it comes to the communicating from various resources as well as from different locations. Now let's discuss how exactly this cloud computing service model works on. Cloud services are delivered through three primarily model. Infrastructure as service, that we can say it as a IaaS, that offers virtualized computing like servers and storage. Now let's discuss how exactly this infrastructure as a service works. So it provides virtualized computing resources over the internet, including servers. So this model, you can see the infrastructure as a services. So that bottom of the infrastructure or services, it provides virtual machine based services. It provides various other services like we need some sort of computing, we need some sort of network, we need some sort of storage. Okay. So all this infrastructure that we need for our organization, so all these infrastructure related services will be provided to the organization as a one of the services. So the next one is platform as a service. So platform as a service offers for the developers to build, deploy and manage applications without worrying about underlying infrastructure. So friends, whenever we are developing our own application, so at that particular time we need various platforms, we need various proprietary softwares onto which we can develop our own application. So here we need not to hire or we need not to procure the license for that particular platform. So we can procure the license and the related services from the cloud service providers. So wherein we can build our own application on that particular platform, we can deploy and we can manage our application without worrying about underlying infrastructure at our own. And finally, we have a software as a services. So software as a services, you can see it is a kind of cloud applications. So that we can say we have various CRM like customer relationship management, we have enterprise resource planning, we have web conferencing, we have group chat, we have email, we have analytics, we have virtual desktop and games. So all these kind of services or all these kind of softwares and related applications we can use over the internet on a subscription basis. So nowadays many of the web applications and mobile applications, they are providing all these things on a pay as you go manner, on a number of users manner. So the more number of users, you will get more number of services and you will have to pay accordingly. So that is what basically it provides us and eliminating the need of installation and maintenance of the entire application at our organization. So in summary or to summarize, IaaS infrastructure as a services, PaaS development platform and SaaS, that we can say it's a software application. So this is all about cloud service models. Now friends, let's discuss about cloud deployment models. So how exactly the clouds are being deployed? So there are several deployment models. So these are four kind of cloud deployment models. The first one is public cloud. So public cloud owned by third party providers and available to the multiple users. So let's say we can give you one example of various public clouds. So Amazon, AWS, then Google Cloud, then Microsoft Azure, they can be considered as a public cloud. So they provide us infrastructure and services and that is being owned by the operator or the service providers, and we are accessing the services with the use of multiple users over the internet. Now the next one is private cloud. So private cloud dedicated to one organization offering a great control. So let's say we need our own cloud, so wherein infrastructure and services are dedicated to a single organization offering a greater control, privacy and security. So even these cloud service providers, they are providing the facility related to private cloud for dedicated to a specific organization. So there is no such hassle related to sharing of resources or sharing of data and any other thing. So that is called private cloud. Now the third one is hybrid cloud. So hybrid cloud is a combination of public and private clouds. So at some point of time we need some sort of shared resources, so wherein we can share on a public cloud, and at some point of time, let's say our data and let's say our security, whenever we are concerned about our security of data, privacy of our data, so at that particular time we can configure some sort of resources on a private model, so that can be utilized. So at some point of time, whenever it is necessary, we can pay more by deploying our own cloud and at some point of time whenever it comes to the generalization of services, and we can reduce the cost by deploying the public model of cloud. So it can be considered as a hybrid cloud. And the final one is multi-cloud. So it uses services from more than one cloud vendors. So friends, it is not always necessary that all the services are provided by cloud service providers are enough for our organization. There are some sort of services wherein that individual cloud service providers, they are not able to provide all those kind of services. So at that particular time, whenever we need some additional services, and if it is not available to our service providers, so we can procure those services from the another service providers. So that is what we can say, it is a multi-cloud model. So multiple cloud service providers and their services can be combined together so that the organization can perform all its services properly. So that is one of the most important thing. Now let's discuss about the essential characteristics of cloud computing. So that has been given by National Institute of Standards and Technology. So according to NIST, cloud computing has 5 essential characteristics. So the first one is on-demand self-services. So on-demand self-services where users can automatically obtain computing resources like storage or server time without manual provider intervention. So whenever it comes to let's say we have configured our application, so that application needs more RAM related facility, more storage related facility whenever the data has got increased. So the cloud computing or the related service provider will not ask for our permission. They will automatically upgrade the services based on our requirement of the application, based on the requirement of the user. So that is what we can call it as a on-demand self-services. So wherein the application will automatically request the resources and the service provider or its application will automatically enhance or scale the resources so that the user's application and the related service cannot get intervened. The next one is broad network access. So broad network access, that can be considered as services are available over the network and can be accessed from diverse devices like smartphones, tablets, laptops and desktops. So friends, it is not always necessary that whenever we are using this kind of services, so we should use it from the workstation or a local machine. At some point of time, we need various other resources or we need various services on different devices like smartphones or tablets or laptops. Like these are all mobile devices. So all these services are available on a different access point or in a different devices, so that we have a broad network access of resources and infrastructure. The next one is resource pooling. So cloud providers, they are providing the shared resources, server, multiple customers dynamically. So basically the resources available whatever we want, okay. So it is a pool of resources. So just like whenever we are sending a printing request on the printer, so there is a spooling and related pooling of documents wherein the printer is printing the documents one by one. At the same time, cloud providers dynamically allocate and reassign pooled physical and virtual resources to serve multiple customers. So let's say I can give you an example. So whenever we have various services, okay. So during the sale time on Amazon or on Flipkart or on various e-commerce platforms, the number of users are getting increasing. So at that particular time, number of users, so computing resources will require more related services, as well as the application will have to serve more users. So at that particular time, if that resources are fixed, then they will not be able to serve more number of resources. So here whenever the requests from clients or requests from the customers are getting increased, so automatically the resource pooling will increase the resource as per the client's requirements or as per the user's requirement. So that we can call it as a resource pooling. The next one is rapid elasticity. So it is a resource can be scaled up or down instantly. So rapid elasticity we can say, so during the sale time on various e-commerce platform, let's say the users and related services or the requests are getting increased, but after the sale is over, at the same time the resources or the users request will get again minimized. Okay. So if that scaled up resources they will be there without utilized, so it will be a cost to an organization. So in that particular scenario, whenever the requests get decreased, the resource and the pool will be again decreased. Okay. So accordingly the cost can be cut down and the cost can be reduced. And the next one is measured services. So it is usage is tracked for transparency and billing. So just like our electricity bill and water bill, whenever we are using internet services, okay, so in internet services on pay as you go, whatever usage we have from the internet service provider, so it is being tracked for the transparency. So let's say today a user has utilized 2 GB of data. On the next day, if user is utilizing 5 GB of data, so that warning and related services or related measurement will be tracked, and accordingly the statistics will be provided to the user, so that at the end of the month whenever the service providers they issue the bill, so that no other technical or no other discrepancies can be generated and the user can be satisfied with the transparency of data used and with the transparency of data tracked. So do not ISO made refinement to this in 2023 to align with evolving practices. Now let's discuss about fundamental technologies behind the cloud computing. So friends, here you can see number of high-end computers, number of high-end infrastructure, and it is a view of kind of data center. So the technology behind the cloud computing, it is something like this. So wherein in a large data center, number of computing resources, number of storage resources and number of services related resources are deployed, and this kind of services are made available at different country location, different state location and different international data centers. So what are the core concepts? So cloud computing builds upon earlier models of computing such as distributed system, mainframe, clusters and grids. So here friends, it didn't emerge overnight. It's built on decades of technological revolution. So distributed system, multiple computers working together as a one system. So friends, in a distributed system, we have various resources available at different location. Okay. So let's say in this particular building, we have various computing resources on one hall, storage resources on in another location. So how exactly these servers and this storage can be managed? So they are independent computers appearing as one system to the users. It enables sharing of infrastructure, runtime environments and services, and key properties like scalability, openness, transparency, concurrency and availability. So this is all about the distributed computing system. Now let's talk about mainframes. So it is used for heavy duty processing like ERP. Let's talk about clusters that provides cost effective high performance groups of computers, and the grid. It is evolved clustered managing shared resources across networks. So all this laid the groundwork for what we know today as a cloud computing. So this is all about foundational technologies beyond the cloud computing. Now let's discuss about the virtualization and service oriented computing. So there are two major technologies that make cloud possible. The first one is virtualization. So it separates software from physical hardware. This allows multiple virtual machines to run on a single system. For example, it includes Amazon EC2 and VMware or vCloud. And the next one is service oriented computing. So user modular services to build applications based on SOA or service oriented architecture. It enables reusability and flexibility. And a quick difference in cloud, we pay for the infrastructure and scalability, whereas in service-oriented architecture, we pay for the service-oriented delivery technology. So, I just want to give you one example related to virtualization. So, friends, we are using Windows technology, or we are using Windows operating system. So, at the same time, we want to utilize Linux operating system, or we want to utilize Macintosh operating system and related services on the same machine. So, we can utilize virtualization technology, so wherein it separates operating system plus applications from physical hardware. So, the physical hardware is same, but wherein on the virtual machine, with the use of virtual machine, we can separate this in a different manner. So, it enables multiple virtual machines, VMs, to run in isolation on same hardware. And just before I have discussed that we can utilize CLI platforms like Amazon EC2, VMware, vCloud and IBM Bluemix. So, this is all about the virtualization and service oriented computing. So, now let us sum up. Let us quickly summarize what we learned today. Cloud computing, it means accessing programs and data over the internet using remote services. Service oriented architecture, so that enables rapid inoperable service delivery. We discussed about grid computing that process large data volume and is application focused. Cloud is service oriented, whereas grid is application oriented. Virtualization simulates hardware environments, enabling flexibility. And finally, the cloud infrastructure is maintained by infrastructure providers with global server locations. Today, we discussed about introduction to cloud computing, and I am thankful to you for your kind attention. So, this concludes unit number 1, introduction to cloud computing. In the upcoming units, we will dive deeper into cloud architecture, service management and deployment strategies. Until then, keep exploring and stay curious. Thank you. Thank you very much.